Christophe Rumble. I am a man of God and a soldier in heaven's cause.
Christophe, en garde! Behind me!
Mother Mary.
Nay, my lord. Sister Aneska.
Where am I?
In Prague, at the convent of the Knights of the Red Cross. Now hush. Thou hast suffered a grievous wound and must rest.
I must return to my...
My lord, peace, I beg thee. Thy brave captain left a letter before thy sword brethren continued on their crusade.
I thank thee for this news, my lady, and for thy care. Surely thou hast drawn me back from the jaws of death itself.
'Twas the Lord that saw fit to spare thy life. We humble sisters simply attended thee.
Oh, Sister Aneska is too modest. She ministered to thy shattered body day and night, long after all others had given up hope. She did indeed restore thy life. I am Archbishop Giza. Thou hast done great service for Christendom, young sir. Tonight I shall make prayers of thanksgiving that thou live, and may send more sinners to hell.
I offer thee all my gratitude for thy service. I am in thy debt.
The rosy life in thy cheek is payment enough. Christophe, thy wound.
Nay, 'tis nothing. A scratch.
The mighty walls of Prague once held all demons at bay, but the Schlachter have overtaken a silver mine to the east. With a haven so close to the city, they boldly walk the streets by night to kill, and worse than kill. Many have been dragged alive from their homes for some unspeakable purpose.
I will never let them take thee.
Oh, sir.
Tomorrow I shall venture into the silver mine and flush the vermin from their holes.
Thou must not. Thy wound is too great.
Nay, I am resolved. They will pay in blood for the fright they have given thee.
Oh, sir, should they harm thee, my heart...
Come away, Aneska. Thou hast wasted enough of good Sir Christophe's time with thy idle chatter. Christophe, the Lord smiles upon thy wrath. I shall pray for thy victory.
I shall not fail.
Alright, hello fellow viewers and YouTubers and Let's Players. I am Super Soka, and this is my Let's Play of Vampire the Masquerade Redemption. This is an action RPG, much in the style of games such as Diablo, where you go into dungeons and fight monsters in dungeons and get loot. This is our mighty warrior Christophe. This game is based on the tabletop RPG Vampire the Masquerade by White Wolf Publishing. which is very good. I actually haven't played it myself, but it's very interesting, and it's very lore-based and story-based RPG as opposed to modern Dungeons and Dragons, which is very much a miniatures war game. But there's plenty of action and stuff going on here, so we'll be good. Let's click our blinking thing. Reclaim the Bond Silver Mines. Alright, so we're gonna go kill some monsters in the silver mines. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna get a letter, we'll read that.
My good kinsman Christoph, thy bravery carried the day in the Battle of the Moravian Hills. Thy sword brethren crushed the pagan barbarians and now chase their scattered hordes into eastern Hungary. Once the last of the heathens are routed, our garrison shall return to Prague, and thou mayst rejoin our ranks. Until then, the tender ministrations of the Holy Sisters shall revive thee, if it be God's will that thou outlive thy wound. Thy fellow sword brethren pray for thy swift recovery, for they cannot allow thee to ripe and rot in decadent luxury whilst they sacrifice themselves. Perhaps thou canst make thy sword arm useful to good Archbishop Giza until such time as we return to collect thee. May the tidings of the Lord be upon thee, Sir Cuthbert.
It's like you saw in that opening cinematic, where a warrior for the Crusades, Templar by the looks of it, by the little cross on his chest piece there. And we got wounded in battle, so we're chilling in Prague. We're going to talk to Sister Ineska over here.
Oh, sir, I pray for thy safety on so perilous a journey.
Not much to say. Alright, so we'll go here.
The cheerful daylight world belies the horrors that prowl by night. How can the good people of Prague go about their business with such evil abroad in the land?
This game has a good feel of that kind of Middle Ages old-timiness, the town and everything. Music is very... There's barrels, dude. Don't get so mad. Let's go in the church here.
God save and protect thee, his soldier, his wrath and vengeance.
Anywho. So as you could tell, we are not, even though this game is called Vampire the Masquerade, we are not a vampire. We are a good human walking around in the daylight. I want to talk to these guys.
Hail and well met, Crusader.
Hail and well met to thee, Knights of St. John.
'Tis good to hear the voice of a fellow Frenchman. We Knights of St. John are far from home, and I would we were back in France.
Say not so. We should gladly go to the ends of the earth in service to our Lord. Good day to thee.
You're such a Boy Scout, Christoph. So we got some town stuff to do before we enter the mines. People to talk to and
Hail,
such.
good Sir Knight, and welcome. They do say you seek to cleanse the minds of evil. Oh, these demons have brought great suffering to the good people of Prague. Our craftsmen have no silver for their wares, and many proud families now beg for their bread. Please, accept all that my humble end can provide, and the blessings of the Lord be upon your quest.
Health potion. Let's go over here. It's a nice town to explore. I like a lot of locations in this game. Are very, they definitely did a good job with making locations look authentic. You know, it's not just.
Ah, sniffy.
Oh,
Now I may replace my war-weary armor.
that wasn't supposed to happen. You see, we got Christoph's head cut off a little bit there. This game was obviously not meant to be played on modern computers. It's definitely an old game. But I was saying you know, we don't just have like a shop that's the blacksmith and like a shop for potions. You know, there's buildings all around the place. This looks like there's people walking around, as you saw before. So it looks like a living, organic town. mean, you can't go into the buildings like you could in, say, like Skyrim or something, but for the 1990 whatever this game came out, I actually don't remember. It's pretty good.
Hail, good Sir Blacksmith. I am Kristoff of the Sword Brethren, and I seek to replace armor lost in battle.
Ho there, young crusader. I be Jiri Borajov, and the very boards of me humble shop are honored to be trodden by a sword brethren. And who will ye be slaying in your new armor?
Alright, so one thing about this game is that you can have dialogue choices, and the way you speak can affect your relationship with others, as well as the information they give you. So here you could say we could be honest with them and tell them what we're doing, or we could just say, I don't care what, I'm not going to tell you. But we're going to tell them because it's a good thing to do. It's good to be honest with your fellow blacksmith.
I seek to slay the demons in the silver mines to the east.
You look a bit sickly, Sir Kristoff. If ye do seek to spill the blood of the fiends in the mine, ye'll be needing special protection.
The protection of the Lord suffices. I need no more than that.
Ha! Tell that to your armor and sword. Nay, 'tis gypsy charms I be speaking of.
So, gypsy charms, it's very, if you didn't know, Middle Ages, that kind of gypsies were kind of looked on as like devil worshippers and not good people. So we're not gonna be all super conservative with this, but we are gonna ask questions. I think Kristoff would be, you know, not sure about this kind of
Aid
thing.
from a gypsy? Can such a thing be godly?
Why, did not King Saul seek out a wise woman and her familiar spirit in his time of need? Yea, that very King Saul, who had once banished all witches, sought a witch when he needed to learn of his future. She summoned the spirit of Samuel the prophet, and no mistake, 'tis in the Holy Bible.
So that's pretty good advice, because we'll be visiting the gypsy a lot in this game.
There is wisdom in thy words. I will go to this gypsy.
You must promise me that the gypsy will come to no harm by my telling.
And we'll promise that, because we can't even hurt her if we wanted to, so,
I promise.
Yeah.
Go ye to the Golden Lane, where you'll find an herbal shop run by the old gypsy woman, Unorna. There ye shall find something to aid ye surely. God be with ye, young one.
We can't actually, well, we could afford a torch and a shield. You actually might buy the shield. I know, we'll find shields in the mine, I guess. So we'll hold off there.
You have my hand on it. 'Tis a deal.
So we can go to the Golden Lane and talk to the gypsy. Might as well, I guess. Nope, that's right. Judas Bridge. Prague is kind of like the main hub of the game. You go to most of the locations through Prague. So go talk to this gypsy. You can tell this place is definitely
The
different.
shop of a
Oh.
gypsy witch. Dare I enter such a place?
This place obviously looks very different from the other buildings. It's a different color, so it's definitely like, hey. Actually, I've never gone here before without first talking to the blacksmith, so I don't know if you went here first, if you'd be able to go in or not. It definitely looks different than everything else, so I would think you would, but I have no idea.
Hello, young one. What is it you desire?
I desire only to bring the Lord's justice to the evil that has befallen this city. I would know of the devils that rule the night in Prague.
They are vampires. The undead. The blood drinkers. The fiends to hide their miserable carcasses away in mines and crypts under the earth. For the very rays of the sun to scald the flesh from their bones. 'Tis quite a sight, and a stench, the like of which you'll ne'er forget.
Then perhaps I shall show them the glory of the breaking dawn before dealing them their final mercy.
Weapons cannot kill the fiends, lest their heads be cleft from their undying bodies. You will need more than a buckler of faith to aid you.
Alright. So she sells potions and such, and scrolls. We actually don't have any money to even afford a potion. A little antidote early, and there's super expensive stuff. 4,000 gold. That's ridiculous. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna be here a lot because potions are really good in this game to help you and stuff. So
Go with God, young one. And be sure to be within the warmth of a hearth when the sun falls. For the foes you have seen are but a small part of the wickedness that walks the streets of Prague by night.
I shall send all such wickedness back to hell.
alright, so Gypsy wasn't much help, but we're fighting vampires, so that's pretty cool. Should be a lot of help later. So now we're off to the mines. Fight us some vampires. Whatever voice actors did the voice for the Gypsy did a very good job with that, in my personal opinion. Hey, there's something in these barrels. Yeah, you usually don't find anything, but occasionally you find like rags or a rusty sword or something, which you can either. We actually wear the rags now. Better than nothing. You can mostly just sell it. Not for much, but you know, better than nothing. You know. Look at this. Interesting that this little town has this huge like university. They call it a university. A huge building in this little teeny town. Oh, there's something there. Rusty dagger. Take that. Oh, another rusty dagger. Talk to this old dude.
Take care outside the gates of the city, good Sir Knight, for all those that wander the highways alone after nightfall are seldom heard from again. Even the strongest of warriors have disappeared. The streets of Prague are no longer safe after dark, but beyond the city walls all hell walks the night. Hell that disgorges from yonder castle of Masquerade.
Cool.
Beware the mines, Crusader. If mere men could kill the Hellspawn, we Knights of St. John would have slain them long ago.
We lock these gates as the last rays of the sun die in the mountains. Pass within before dark, or wait without until dawn. I pray for thy safe return.
Yeah, me too. You're dick. Anyways. That guy talked about the Castle of Viscera. That's, we'll learn a little bit later that's kind of a vampire.
These guards still hold their ore. The diggers have fled this place in haste, and the fiends have not seen fit to continue such honest labor.
If you could stop interrupting me, Christoph, that'd be good. Asshole. We pick up a torch here. Very useful in these. A lot of these dungeons have a lot of dark places, and torches are good for that. But you can't use a shield, obviously, while you're using a torch or a two-handed weapon. But especially for this part, it's useful because enemies probably aren't going to kill us. Hopefully.
The odor of freshly mined earth is laden with the foul stench of death.
Well, that doesn't sound good.
What mystery lies moldering here? This poor soul died without a wound, save a bit of blood at the throat.
Oh, there's a monster. They're very loud monsters in this dungeon. So combat is pretty much mash the left click button and hope you hit it. It very much has that RPG style of you might hit, you might not. And then when you hit, you do a certain amount of damage. The enemies have the same system, of course. Oh, that is awesome. Some classic gibbing right there. And also, you also have a chance for most of these vampires that you could just cut off their head when you do damage, and that just kills them instantly, which is pretty cool. That's there. It's one of the few ways to kill a vampire is to remove the head. Hit him, Christoph. Yeah. Wow, that's sucks for the horse, man. Getting eaten up by some monstrous vampire things. They don't even look like vampires much. They look like monsters, definitely, but they're definitely not your Count Dracula kind of thing. I guess they're kind of close to the Nosferatu, more monstrous version of vampires. But
Wild dogs? Nay, rats!
ROUSs. It's rodents of unusual size. So those of you who are uncultured. For silver mines, I mean, plenty of silver coins I would expect, but potions lying around, I don't know. How often do people get injured down here? Nope. Come on, Christoph, you can hit him. It's right there. We go. Pass it off. There we go. We dropped something. I think. Oh, there it is. Looks like I said, this game, a lot of parts of this game are kind of like Diablo, where the inventory system and a lot of the combat, but the inability to see all the items that are dropping. I mean, you don't get nearly as much loot as you would in a Diablo game, but there's really no button to make it show up. So sometimes you might miss something that's, a monster moves over a piece of loot and then dies on it, and you won't see it. That can be kind of annoying. Oh, holy water. Broadsword here. And of course, also unlike Diablo, this dungeon is not randomly generated. It's not nearly as much that replay value. Once you play through this game, you don't really need to play through again, unless you're doing a let's play like I am, I guess. Anywho, what is that? Is that a person? That's gotta be a shitty way to go. Trapped down here with giant rats. Probably heal up. Dying in this dungeon would be very embarrassing for me. There we go. Especially if it was killed by rats. That's just, So notice we have different levels of healing. Let's see if we have one left. Yeah. So there's 3 different types of potions for healing. And obviously, the more full it is, the more it heals. And we have this holy water, which you can throw at vampires and undead creatures, and it hurts them. And they have this rusted, shitty weapons. Also, like in Diablo, the healing isn't instant over time. Makes sense, you know. When you heal, you don't just heal. You know, it takes time for the wounds to mend and all that. Kind of annoying how often Kristoff might hit there. You'd figure, I mean, these guys are not small. Should be pretty. I mean, rats maybe. Rats are, you know, they're not that. I mean, they're dog sized, but you know, might be a little hard to hit. They're running around. But it's Sloksha, whatever the hell they are. Sizzloksha. Sizzloksha. Told you there was a shield in here. Down into the deep. That's where we're going. The commentary is fascinating. The very first Let's Play, actually. Let's talk about that a little bit. That's something to talk about. It's like kill rats and slots, whatever the hell they're called. A lot of Let's Players out on YouTube, so anyone who's watching this, thank you for watching it, because I know there's a lot of content out there to be watching, and God damn it. So you notice over here I got diseased, which I actually don't even know what that does. I think you lose health over time, maybe. I don't know. We got this vaccine here, so that's pretty lucky. We don't have any more though, so we get diseased again. We're kind of screwed. Level 2 of the silver mines down here. Some more holy water. Anyways, as I was saying, there are a lot of content out there to watch, so if you're watching me, it makes me happy. It makes me lots of noise out there. You gotta do something special.
I reclaim this treasure from the clutches of evil and reconsecrate it to a godly purpose.
Who are you talking to, Kristoff? There's no one there, unless you're talking to the monsters. I guy's got a club. What the hell? Oh, did I just pick up a rat? What the hell? Just stop. It's like a giant bone. Just die already. There we go. Yeah, a giant bone using it as a club. What the hell? No, I actually one time had a Dungeons and Dragons character that was a rogue. He just like to use knives and stuff, but our DM really liked to throw skeletons at us, because skeletons, if you don't know, in some of the older editions of D&D, take less damage from bladed weapons. And actually, I think in this game that's also true. There's some enemies that take reduced damage from bladed weapons and take more from bashing weapons. So I'd have we actually fought this really big skeleton that had like these huge rib bones, and actually picked one up and used it as a club. So I had a rogue who used a giant rib as a club to fight skeletons. So that was interesting. Kept it the whole campaign. Kept that club, even though eventually we stopped fighting skeletons. But I went back. Be a problem when you're deep in some of these dungeons. You don't know which ways everything kind of tends to look the same. So you might end up going backwards when you don't mean to. Because you can't just say I'm going down, because you might go up and down the hills here. So sometimes you can lose track of where you're going. I think we're going to go up there. That's the way we're going to go. There's usually some indication of where you are, kind of these big areas. I can tell, like this fire thing here is different from those torches down there, so that's probably an indication of where you need to go, is when you see something different. But usually a lot of stuff looks the same. Those look like faces. I just noticed that. Hold on a second. Those look like those faces carved like skeletons carved. Is that supposed to be? I just thought it was the dirt was part of the mines, but are those supposed to be like piles of skeletons for the walls or something? I don't know. Or maybe it's supposed to look like that. I mean, it's obviously on purpose that it looks like skulls and heads and faces. That's not a very good work environment. Mining down here and silly. This is clearly part of the mine, so people have been down here. If I was working, I saw these faces everywhere. That would not be. I would probably quit. That's not really worth it for during. Yes, you over there. You might have noticed that sometimes these guys start glowing. Because they're using, in Vampire the Masquerade, vampires have these things called disciplines. That's their magic powers. Notice them glowing, they're using one of those disciplines. You must also see, see here it says, Sloksha fails discipline blood healing. So he tried to heal himself using his magic, and he failed. So, in the actual tabletop RPG, you had to, every time you wanted to use your abilities, you had to roll for it. And if if you didn't roll, well, you failed. So they kind of this game actually does take a lot of stuff from the tabletop RPG and applies to it. And a lot of the combat is hit or miss based. There's also another Vampire the Masquerade game called Bloodlines out there, which is a great game. You can get it on Steam. Then this game you can get on. I don't think you can get it on Steam, but you can get it on. I got this on GOG, Good Old Games. Would you just die? And that game, the Bloodlines, does not take as much from the RPG other than the lore and kind of those. It's still an RPG, but it doesn't. It's not as much based on a lot of the concepts and mechanics of the original game as this one does. Oh, that is a lot of screaming going on down here. I also notice that I hit these guys. There's no health bar, but their name there gets a little redder. And it gets really red when you're about to kill him. And then he healed. I hate when they heal. It just makes delaying the inevitable. You see the big guy down there. Poor ghoul. Some big monster. We're gonna have to fight him in a second. That's not going to be very fun. Or I should probably use a shield for that. And you also notice that we have all these health potions here. Prepare us to fight that big dude. Just like it's on purpose. So this game, the dungeons in this game don't really have puzzles and that kind of stuff so much as there'll be a little impassable area, and usually just to flip a switch. A lot of switches and doors and stuff. That's the only switch in this game, I mean this dungeon. But a lot of the dungeons will be a lot of, this switch opens this door here, which you have to, is on the other side of the dungeon. You have to crawl through rats and then beyond that door there's another switch. You have to go all the way back to that first switch to open the door. There's a lot of that. Now, you notice here that the water wheel is actually, the water's slowly coming down, which I thought that's pretty cool for a game this old to have. It doesn't just, the water doesn't just fall, it slowly just goes down. Actually, like I said, we're going to be using the shield here. Blues are light, but get more defense. This guy actually does hit very hard. When he hits, he does anyways. I swear he hits hard. Yeah, see? Told you. Staggered you. Heal. You asshole. That's the problem. Fighting these big dudes with heals takes forever. Kristoff can't hit worth a damn. Now there's another guy over here. I was hoping he just... Oh, now I'm diseased. He just keeps healing. This sucks. There, that finally died. Asshole. And disease over there. Disease might actually not be health. It might just be lowered stats, which makes hitting even harder. And another vaccine over here. A lot of times the combat will come down to the difficulty isn't in the individual enemies, but the fact that they tend to swarm you. And later we'll have actually have companions, and you know you'll get set companions, and you'll have like support stuff, but you'll get separated by the swarming creatures, and you won't be able to do anything. Companions tend to have terrible. Oh, that was awesome. Sometimes I think if that's a critical, that you have a chance to crit. And when that one hits, when you one-shot an enemy like that, they explode, and that's awesome. Love these old-style physics and graphics where monsters just explode. It's called gibbing, if you are any classic Quake fans out there. I hate when they run away. And you gotta chase them. So you gotta kill them to get the XP. And the chance to drop money or whatever. KO. More rats and more Slockchia things. Stakes. Stakes are, don't use them. They are so unreliable. Technically, if you, I think stakes do like no damage. Like say 5 lethal, as opposed to my broadsword which is 30 lethal. But when you're fighting a vampire, you have a chance to stake him in the heart, which paralyzes him. This is almost completely useless. Because staking a vampire, it's such a low chance, and especially some later enemies, vampires in the game, that just do, like, too much. You gotta kill them quickly, because they do a lot of damage. That's cool. I'll take that. I'll take that over the rusty broadsword. Fine flanked mace deals 40 bashing damage. Interesting about this, like I said before, certain enemies take more damage from certain weapons, but it's not just like skeletons only take bashing damage. It's, you know, vampires, because of their resilience, are more susceptible to lethal weapons, lethal damage, like cutting. And then you got there's some, like, you know, you'll be fighting skeletons and golems, that kind of thing, that take more damage from bashing, so it's good to have a variety. It's not just, you need your bashing weapons for the skeletons, like, no, you want You want a certain amount of lethal damage for vampire, a certain amount of bashing damage for stone creatures. It's just lethal and bashing. That's in 3rd edition D&D they had bashing damage, slashing damage, which is basically the lethal in this game, and then they had piercing. So you had your long sword and your broadsword that does your slashing damage, maces and flails for bashing, and then things like daggers, and I think daggers were piercing, and rapiers for piercing. Oh, we can't hold that because inventory's low, but it's just rags, so not really important. And of course, as you can tell, we are finally going down to the last level, the Silver Mines 3. We're definitely almost out of space. Let's see here. Yeah, we can only fit like 3 more potions. We have a lot of potions, so we should be alright. So I can tell this place, each level looked very different, which it's really cool how they do that with, let me see the area over here, I'll be there in a second. That each level is very distinct, and either in color and in some later dungeons, and even like the ambiance of the place, it will feel like you're in a new place, which I think is pretty cool. That they separate each of the different levels. Like for example, Diablo 2, the dungeons, a lot of the dungeons is just each level is just rocks, or each level is a jail. But they don't. But in this game, each level feels different. So actually, we're gonna heal up here. We use some of these ointments that don't really heal for much. Let's use 2 of them. You notice we picked up a rat here that we can't use because they're non-human only, and that's some bit of foreshadowing for you there. We'll actually be using the holy water. Probably won't. I don't think this boss here can disease us, but. Rearrange our inventory here. I said the stakes were useful. I picked one just to sell them, in case you were wondering. So let's do this.
Blasphemy! Let the builders of this mockery of a holy cathedral show their wicked faces. Out, blaspheming wretch! Taste the steel of righteousness!
I am Alzra, the Unliving, and I bid thee welcome to my domain. I have found thee an inhospitable and ungrateful guest.
God strike thee down, she-devil! Accursed creature! Earth has no room for such as thee!
Nay, verily all the earth is all dominion. With every passing day our numbers swell. We shatter all defenses and corrupt all holy places. The Tzimisce shall rule all of Prague, and everyone, mortal and canine alike, will tremble at our coming.
Hellspawn, the purity of the holy places protects them from thy evil.
Purity can be sullied, and holiness can be defiled. The Methuselah of Visceral shall awaken soon. He shall defile all that is pure, and leave corruption his wake. In defilement lies his strength. Purity is sweet meat to him, as thy rich blood is sweet wine to me.
Die, thou damned beast. God hath spat thee out of heaven in ancient times, and now I scourge thee from the earth. Die, and burn far from the sight of God.
Alright, it's Azra. Our first fully vampire. Yeah, throw that out. She did a lot of things that, a lot of lore stuff that's important in this game that we're gonna learn about later. Talking about the Methuselah, Viscera, and the Tzimisce. Oh, you heal, you dumb bitch. Lucky she hits about as often as I do. Tzimisce, if you don't know, are one of the vampire clans. So the vampires are set up in these 13 obviously being an unlucky, unholy number. 13 vampire clans, and each have distinct abilities and personalities. Tzimisce are famous for... Would you stop healing, you dumb bitch? Stupid cunt. God damn it. I hate fighting her. She just heals. She just basically frenzies at you and just heals. And that's all she does. Oh. Yeah, die. Oh, you're in frenzy, so she can't heal. Yeah, when vampires frenzy, they can't use their powers. So it's good to see that.
No last rites. The sweet redemption of our Lord is forbidden to the likes of thee. Thou hast no home now but the eternal torments of hell.
Yeah, boom. Alright, so we actually get a chance to use our experience points. In this game, you don't level up, like say in Diablo, and then get points. You basically you get experience points, and you can just spend them to increase your stats. Stats here. I don't know why they give you a chance to increase your faith here, since we're going to learn later that this stat is completely pointless and serves no purpose at all. And mana, you can't even use magic. So why do they give you a mana? I don't know. I'm not going to get into that. So we're going to increase our... The problem is, I don't know what exactly all these stats... They don't really tell you what these stats do. Like, increase stamina. What does stamina do? Like, I don't, like, maybe increases health. I mean, strength and dexterity probably increase damage. So increase those. Appearance, maybe a little bit. Some of these stats you might, if you've played Bloodlines, you might be able to, or the tabletop RPG, you will recognize some of these stats, like appearance, manipulation. That's why I like Bloodlines, it clearly tells you what each stat does. That's a little better soon. I guess that works. I mean, I guess people who have played this game a lot more than I have probably know what all this stuff does, and I can probably find out. But it seems good to me. It never really seemed to. I mean, you get better, but I never like. I don't know. It doesn't tell you what the stats all do, and I think that would be very helpful. Whatever. Return up to St. Thomas. Before that, I mentioned Vampire Clan Tzimisce. Tzimisce are famous for, first of all, being just evil. Like some of the vampires, I mean, they're all monsters. That's kind of the thing with the game, is that there's no good guys, really, among the vampires. Just some are just less evil bastards than everyone else. Tzimisce are the evil bastards. They're famous for flesh manipulation. That's kind of their discipline, is they have the ability to turn and mold flesh.
An amulet of St. Jude. 'Tis an omen. If I redeem so holy a relic from this ungodly tomb, surely this saint shall grant me his favor.
Yeah, so you notice all the monsters here were like all fleshy creatures, as well as Azura was all molded and weird looking. That's because their discipline allows them to craft flesh into various types of beautifully deadly to them creatures, monsters. It's kind of they're the most monstrous of all the vampire clans, except maybe the Nosferatu, but we'll get to them when we get to them. Going back to Prague.
Who comes there? Ah, the Crusader ends his day in retreat. Back for another rest in the nunnery?
All of Prague may rest. I have claimed the head of the Demon Queen.
Praise be to Christoph, champion of Prague.
Alright, so I think that'll conclude our part 1 for our Let's Play of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. I hope you enjoyed. Please, if you enjoyed it, please like, favorite, subscribe, whatever. And we'll see you next time.